Welcome to another episode of Redistricting for Racial Justice, presented by More Equitable Democracy. My name is Bill Ball. This is the 7th episode of our series on Intro to GIS and Census Data. And in this episode, we're going to talk about selecting features. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to select features. We are then going to create a new layer from that selection. And then I'm going to show you how to create a new shapefile from that as well. So let's go ahead and get our old map from where we left off. So we got this right here, state of Ohio, and we're looking at every single block group, okay? Now the first thing I want to do is let's go ahead and get the congressional district shapefile that we loaded to this map, because we're going to need to add that. So if you remember going up to this, how to add a new shapefile, we go to this plus sign at the top. You need to navigate to the folder where your data is. And then I see the shapefile that I want right here, the CD Congressional District shapefile. So let's go ahead and double click on that. And you can see we've got a lot more than what we bargained for here. So let's click the globe right here, the full extent, and see what we're dealing with. Now, if you remember, when we downloaded the shapefile from the census website, it was a national file. It wasn't specific to the state of Ohio. So we're going to use selecting features to get this, to pare this down to just the state of Ohio. Okay, and there's 3 ways of doing it. First way I'm going to show you is just using a little bit of basic SQL. Now, if you don't know SQL, it's okay. This is going to be the most basic statement you can do, and it's going to be very easy. So let's go to our congressional district layer right here, our shapefile. Let's click on it, right-click, and then open the attribute table. Okay, now we've seen this. Well, we haven't seen this actual attribute table before. Let's take a quick look at what we've got. Looks very similar to the block group attribute table that we looked at. Again, we've got a state. We've got a CD. We've got a GeoID. Looks a little bit different, but that's okay. And then, basically a bunch of junk. Now, what I want to do at the end of the day is I want all the congressional districts in the state of Ohio, and I want nothing else. I don't care about the congressional districts of Montana or whatnot. And so the way I'm going to do that using SQL is you go to this table, options drop down here. Okay, and we want to select by attributes. And it's going to bring up this, this pane right here. And so it's already written 3/4 of the SQL statement for us. You can see this right here. This select star from our shapefile where. So all we've got to do is fill the last leg of this statement out, okay? So if you don't know SQL, don't worry about it. If you do know SQL, this is what we're starting with. So all we need to do is say select star from the shapefile where what? The answer is where state equals 39, which is, again, the FIPS code for the state of Ohio, okay? So, generally speaking, you can type it out if you want to, but I like to let the computer do it for me wherever possible, okay? And the statement we want to say is where, again, state equals 39, okay? So, we can't just type state in here. It needs to be this exact field that's provided for us. So again, let the computer do the work for us. So let's double click on state right here. Now, it puts quotes around it, and it might work. I don't know if it works or not. I don't care if it works or not. Proper SQL does not put quotes around that, so we are getting rid of it. Okay. So where state equals 39. Now, this is not going to work. I'll save you the suspense and tell you why it's not going to work. And the reason is, even though 39 looks like a number to you and me, ArcGIS right now thinks it's a text. Okay, and we're going to go into this in the next episode here. But just know for now, if you know SQL, text needs to be in single quotes. Okay, so we're just going to put the 39 into single quotes. And then we're going to hit apply. We're going to close this out. And we'll see we got a whole bunch of, a lot of blue stuff going around Ohio. Now let's zoom in real quick and see what's going on here. Zoom in Ohio. And basically, it did what we wanted to do. It selected all of the features, all of the congressional districts in the state of Ohio. Perfect. Okay? Now, when we're done with this, let's right-click on the shapefile. go to Selection, and now create a layer from selected features. Let's go and click on that. Okay. Now, we haven't talked about this yet, but let's go ahead and uncheck this congressional districts here and just turn it off. And we'll see right now we have the map we wanted. We have all of the congressional districts in the state of Ohio. All right. That's pretty good. So that's one way of selecting features. We used SQL to do that. I'm going to show you two more quick ways of doing it. So let's go ahead and remove this. Right-click on it and click Remove. Let's try it again. Okay, and let's turn on our big... for now, let's go ahead and uncheck this block group. We don't need it right now. All we care about is this congressional district shapefile. So let's turn it on again. Okay, it's still selected here, so I'm going to show you one quick tool here. If you go up to these icons at the top here, you'll see one. I guess it's supposed to be like a shattered glass, maybe. I don't know, but it's a white box that looks like a broken glass to me. So it clears the selected features. So we do that. Okay, good. Now we're back to where we need to be. So the next way we're going to use to select features is we're going to go to this drop down here where it says Select Features. And you've got 5 options here. We're only going to talk about the top 2, Select by Rectangle and Select by Polygon. First, let's start with a rectangle. Now, this has 2 applications to it. One is it allows you just to draw a rectangle. Okay, so you can draw a little square here. And okay, it looks like I got them all. If you hold, y'all can see what it does, right? I move it here, okay, right? So that's one way of using it. The other way of using it is if you hold down Shift, if you click on each one and hold down Shift, you can just go by and individually select all of the features that you want. So if you remember what the map looks like, I can just individually select each one of those, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to right-click, I'm going to go to Selection, and I'm going to go to Create Layers from Selected Features. And if we turn this one off, we missed one. That's okay. Let's remove this. That's junk. Let's turn this one back on. We forgot Columbus. There's one right here that we forgot, so let's hold down Shift, right-click on the Columbus one, and let's try it again. Right-click, Selection, Create Layer from Selected Features. Okay, looks like we got them all there. Okay? That's good. That's the second way of selecting features. We're going to do one more. So let's go ahead and again, let's clear the selected features. And let's remove this shapefile. And the last way is I'm going to do is select by polygon. Now what this allows you to do is draw any polygon, and basically anything that's within that polygon is going to grab. Okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to click once, and it's going to draw a line. I'm going to click again. I'm going to click again. And you just basically want to box in the state of Ohio best you can. And when you're done, you double click. And again, it just selected all the features for you again. And one last time, let's right click on the layer, go to Selection, Create Layer from Selected Features. And we got, again, all the congressional districts in Ohio isolated from the rest of the map here. Okay, so that looks good. So now what I want to do is I want to remove this national file. I don't care about it anymore because I've got my congressional districts in Ohio isolated. Now, you might be thinking we're done, and honestly, if ArcGIS wasn't a little bit buggy, we would be done. But it is a little bit buggy, and there's one thing we have to do to make our map work. And basically, whenever you create a layer from a shapefile, whenever you do what we just did, there's still a little, a little DNA of that old map still embedded in this layer that we're talking about right here. And basically, we want to get rid of that DNA. We want to create a brand new shapefile that has nothing to do with the other 49 states in the country. And so in order to do that, we need to create a brand new shapefile from this layer that we got by selecting features from the national file. I know that's a mouthful. All we're doing is creating a new shapefile, okay? And you have to do it because ArcGIS is a little bit buggy, I'm sorry to say. And so the way to create a new shapefile from a layer is we right-click the layer we want. We go down to Data, and we want to export the data, Okay. Now we need to tell it where we want to save it. So let's go ahead and go to desktop. And I've got my shape files here. Okay, I see the old shape files right here. I'm just going to create a new one. Let's call it Ohio cd.shp. Looks good. Click Save. Hit OK. So we've already created it. Now it's asking us, do we want to load this to our map as a layer? And the answer is yes. So go ahead and click Yes. And you see it created a new layer for us right here, which is what we want to do. So what we have here is the new one, a new shapefile that's nice and clean, ready to go. And we've got this other one, which looks good, but still has some of that DNA from the old shapefile. So let's go ahead and get rid of that one. And we are done. So what we have now, again, we have all the block groups right here, but we also have all the congressional districts in the state of Ohio. So all we learned in this episode was taking a big file, a big national file, and we learned 3 different ways to select features to get just the state of Ohio that we wanted. So that's going to wrap up this episode. Let's see. Yep. In the next episode, we're going to talk about joining data. Specifically, we're going to take the race data that we downloaded from the census website, and we're going to join it to our block group shapefile, which is going to allow us to map people of color at the block group level. So thank you for joining. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the chat box below. We want to hear from you, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.